Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day to celebrate one of the most important events of the year, especially for me personally, because as most of you know, I'm a very emotional girl, so it's okay. If I did not have a chance to introduce myself to all of you earlier, I'm Marina Garrett. I'm the proud chair of the Student Recognition Committee, and on behalf of my colleagues on the committee, I'd like to welcome you to our annual Student Recognition Day. Let me take a moment to introduce to you our committee members, if they're all here. Dr. Devlin. Dr. Timothy Dugan, Dr. Wendy Galgan there in the back, and my friend and colleague, Dr. Peter Leibman, Dr. Emily Horowitz, and the lovely Dr. Cynthia Molina. This is a day where we pause and celebrate our students and their accomplishments. And just to give you a little history, the committee was formed many years ago in order to recognize students who demonstrated excellence in an academic endeavor. And during that historical period, we primarily awarded papers, English papers, philosophy papers. However, over the past year or so, the committee decided to encourage a variety of submissions. Student work that we define as multi-textual type of works and formats from across disciplines. And as indicated in the slideshow, you can see that we have an eclectic group of awards this year. The work that was selected for an award this particular semester was evaluated on a number of criteria, which include some of the following that I'll share with you. The level of investment that was conveyed in the work, the contributions to the discipline that it represented, whether or not it extended our understanding of a particular field, and the nominating professor's accompanying narrative in support of that work. For instance, we looked for indicators such as initiative, how the assignment was embraced, and the habits of minds that students demonstrated. And finally, we probably looked for perhaps what we call a little je ne sais quoi, that little something that can't always be put into words that sets the work apart. So this year, we also considered collaborative work, which we have not done to date, because as you know, working well with others is still important. As you will see, there are a few awards today honoring the work that resulted from a joint intellectual exercise. We will be presenting a total of 12 awards today. Each award will be preceded by a short introductory statement from the nominating professor, and I will call each professor up one at a time. And then students will be given a brief moment to discuss their work and make any other additional remarks. But before we do that, it is my pleasure to introduce to you one of the most dynamic and generous people in the college, my favorite, Dr. Alan Brodowski.
Just want to thank the students, the faculty, who have worked with the students. I want to thank the mentors, the guests and family who are here in the cheering section I heard from the back of the room for coming today, because I think that when we recognize students, again, as Marina pointed out, is that it's probably one of the most important events that we have at the college. It's not only recognition of students, it's the recognition of the sacrifice of all the students who participated in this, as well as the faculty. It was once said, I think I remember reading a book, and it speaks about everything you need to know in life you learn in kindergarten. That's not so. The most important thing that you really get from a college education that shows that you've grown is the ability to undertake independent or even collaborative research. And that's the work that you did. And whether you are recognized today or not, it is probably one of the most important experiences that you've had in college. And that 5 to 10 years from now, you will look back with a great sense of pride. It is something that you should embrace. It is something that is the highlight of your college experience. It shows that you really have become what we try to instill in you, and that is a critical thinker. A person who is able to undertake independent work and succeed. And for that, I honor you. And today is really a fantastic day to celebrate this. So again, thank you very much for inviting me to have a few words to say. I congratulate all the winners. I congratulate everyone who participated in it. and hope you remember this for a long, long time. Congratulations.
I'd like to introduce to you my dear friend and colleague who works with me in the education department, Dr. Peter Leibman.
Thank you, Dr. Gare. I'd like to thank Dr. Gare for allowing me to cut the line. As she said, unfortunately for me, I have a commitment downstairs that I have to get to in a few minutes. You know, anytime you put together a program like this, there are a lot of details that have to be taken care of, and somebody has to do the heavy lifting. And for the last 6 years, I've had the opportunity to work with Dr. Gare. And I've always been impressed not only with her teaching ability, but the quality of person she is. And I know how hard she worked on this ceremony, and I think she deserves a round of applause. In my secondary methods class, we combine students who are going to be social studies teachers and also English teachers. And what they do in my class is teach lessons. And then the students and I sit back and we critique them. Hopefully, they're going to improve as teachers and in their methodology. And the culminating process, the culminating project rather, in the semester is for the students to work cooperatively on a 5-week unit plan. And I have to say that, that the unit plans were exceptional this year, but there was one that really stood out, and that was the work of Mariana Emilio, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us today. She's student teaching at Booty Junior High School, and as I speak, she's being observed by the principal of that school. So I know you'll join me in excusing her from not being here. The other 3 students are Darren Glenn, Social Studies, Shannon Ruiz, and Ashley Romero. I'd like those 3 to come up here now, please. They put together an outstanding project combining The Great Gatsby and The Roaring Twenties. As I said, all of the work that I received was exceptional, but theirs really stood out. And once again, as a group, I was really impressed with their ability to work together. This was a 5-week unit plan, and it was truly exceptional. And now I'd like to introduce Shannon Ruiz, who will say a few words on behalf of the quartet. Shannon.
Hi everyone, I'm Shannon Ruiz. On behalf of myself and my group, I just want to thank the Student Recognition Committee, Dr. Gare, Dr. Leibman. They've been such an inspiration to us, and they're recognizing our hard work on this Great Gatsby Roaring Twenties unit plan. It was such a hard thing to do. It was so much tedious work, and it feels so good to be recognized for putting so much effort into a project. And you have no idea how much the faculty in our education department is amazing. They all root for us to succeed, and we feel it in every class. Dr. Gare, Dr. Lyman, Dr. G, all of us, all of them, right, should I say. They're amazing teachers, and they inspire us every day. And I know personally, and I speak on behalf of my group, that we're so proud to be a part of this department. So thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce our next faculty member, Dr. Sophie Berman.
Thank you, Dr. Gare. Marciano was my student last semester in my Basic Problems in Philosophy course. This course is an introduction to philosophy, and I think that a very good way to introduce philosophy to students is to make them encounter the man who was philosophy embodied, philosophy walking the streets and questioning people, Socrates. So about the first third of the course is devoted to meeting Socrates. We look at the different themes in Socrates' life and, of course, his death. Know thyself. I know that I don't know. The unexamined life is not worth living. And at the end of that unit, I ask students to write a paper explaining what encountering Socrates has meant for them personally. And so I think that really in the whole class I had very interesting papers, but the one that really stood out was Marciano's paper. So I was very happy that he was selected by the committee. Congratulations, Marciano.
Thank you, Dr. Berman. I'd like to first start off by thanking the committee. And I would like to thank SSC in general. I'm a freshman here. And I'll say that this being my first year has been extraordinary. And this school, the school environment on its own has really inspired me to put my best foot forward. The fact that I won this award kind of came as a bit of a surprise, considering that English is not my second, but actually my third language. So it's very nice to gain recognition for that. The paper in a nutshell really dealt with ignorance as being the cornerstone of gaining knowledge, because it is very true that first you have to know that you do not know before you can actually start the journey to know. And I think this is one of the fundamental principles that we as academics have, because it's really true knowledge that we're after. And because of that, I would like to thank specifically Dr. Sophie Berman for inspiring me, and not just for nominating me for this award, but really being a role model in that sense, and always being open to students and always seeing the best potential in me. So thank you specifically, Dr. Berman. Thank you.
Dr. Scott Weiss would be, if he were here, would be presenting an award to Zara Mahmood. She wrote a paper entitled The New Trend in Advertising, Digital Interactive Billboards, and I have to give her 2 thumbs up because my love of visual sociology, I find this very intriguing. Zara?
Thank you so much to Dr. Weiss. I'm sure he's here in spirit, and he's definitely in my heart right now. I really can't thank him enough because he just came out of nowhere and he nominated me for this award, and I was surprised that I even received it. And I just wanted to say, as a senior at St. Francis College majoring in advertising, how much I am grateful to the communications department, and not just that department, but to St. Francis College, for fostering my love of the communications industry and for helping me find myself. A lot of students, even as seniors who are graduating college, they don't know what they want to do with their lives, and that's completely normal. But I am fortunate in that ever since my freshman year, I started off as a communications major, and my professors have helped me discover my passion of working in media and communications. And so much so that I am going to pursue a graduate degree in global marketing, communications, and advertising at Emerson College. And it's all thanks to my college professors, especially Dr. Weiss, Dr. Jackson, all the professors in communications. So thank you so much to everybody. My paper in a nutshell was discussing the latest trend in advertising, which is digital interactive billboards, which takes advertising to a whole new level in which consumers are able to actively engage in ads as opposed to just being bombarded by billions of ads and just forcing to, blocking them out of their site. And some may think, well, who cares about this? But I think it's truly fascinating, and I think I'm lucky that I was able to discover my passion of this. So thank you to the communications department, and thank you, Dr. Weiss.
Dr. Biolsi was unable to be here today. She has a little one at home. I asked her to bring the little one here, but so I am presenting 2 awards on behalf of Dr. Biolsi. One to Jeanette Raymond and the other one to Brian Restrepo. I'm not sure if Brian, are you here today? No. So Jeanette, please join us up at the stage.
I just wanted to first thank the committee. I did not expect to win this award, but it is a pleasant surprise. I also just want to thank, although she's not here, Dr. Biolsi. Everyone can hear me thanking her, so you can tell her later when you see her. This was my first poster I ever presented at a conference on my own, and she really fostered the whole process and really facilitated my putting it together and using the correct terminology, and it's about animal behavior. So it was really new to me. We don't have animal behavior concentration within the psychology department, but so it was kind of like a whole field, and we were presenting it at this conference in Florida. And it's a very small conference, but it's really where all of the bigwigs in the animal cognition field come out. So I had to present this, not only put it together, but present this in front of people who I'm basing all of this research on. So I'm citing them on my poster, but I'm talking to them, so it was this great dynamic. So thank you, Dr. Biolsi, and thank you, everyone else. In a nutshell, I think that's like the phrase of the day, but in a nutshell, my poster was about Dr. Biolsi and myself are working with sea lions at the Long Island Aquarium, and we're training them on object recognition, and they have to discriminate between, I can see a photo of myself and say, hey, that's me, but what do sea lions see? Can they see a picture of me and still identify me as myself? So we had pictures of a pin and a ball and the actual objects, and we wanted to see whether or not they understood that there is a relationship between the two. And they did. And that was my poster. So thank you all, and thank you for this award.
Dr. Haviland.
Hi, I'm very excited to introduce Marietta, Frank, and Colin. The project that they worked on was based on an African-American historic site app called More Than a Map, which you can all get for free. And what it does is it takes your location and it finds African-American historic sites near you, gives you a little blurb about them, information about where to find sources on the site, and photos and things like that. So for the African-American history class, each group had to pick 2 African-American historic sites to add to the app. And this group, who worked exceptionally well together, added W.E.B. Du Bois's historic home at 31 Grace Court, which is around the corner, and the St. Peter's Church, which was a free black congregation in the 1830s. And so they did a really excellent job sort of researching and adding the sites to the app. Their submissions had to go through an editorial review by the app creators, and I got great feedback on their project, so I'm really excited that they're being recognized here as well.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Haviland, for nominating us and the whole committee. We worked really hard on this project. We had to take pictures, which I mostly took, and do a lot of intense research, which was not that hard, which was pretty hard to find because some of the history has been lost, and it was really nice to bring back some of this African American history onto this new app that's amazing. And we're really thankful for this, and we appreciate it. Thanks for listening.
I am very, very happy for all of you. So many of you have been in my classes, that is unbelievable. But I'm very happy for Savannah. Savannah means when the West meets the East. Savannah is from the West. She was in my Latino literature and culture class a year ago. My class demands a reading of 4 novels, 10 short stories, and 5 critical work, plus some theories. It was a tremendous amount of reading. Discussions were 1 hour and a half twice a week, plus some online discussions. At the end of every reading, I requested a reaction paper. Reaction papers were very interesting. At the end of the course, the last novel we read was the one by Junot Diaz. Exactly. 400 pages, dedicated 2 weeks to discussion. We discussed everything that was in the novel. I don't know if you know about that novel. At the end of the discussion, the reaction papers were to be submitted. 2 interesting reaction papers, debating which one is the best. Well, I decided for Savannah's paper. It was the best. It was an outstanding paper. It's not a research paper. It is a reaction paper. That's the reason I nominated Savannah. So I would like to introduce to all of you Savannah Bailey.
Hi, like all of you, the nomination also wasn't expected, so thank you again for the nomination. My paper was entitled Sexuality in Latin America. And most people, when they hear sexuality, they're like, oh, no, the blush, we can't talk about that. You know, flashes to Mean Girls, don't have sex, you'll get pregnant and die. But it's actually not about sex. It's about femininity, double standards, like the androcentric view of sexuality and how women are treated, how, you know, they're supposed to be chaste their whole life, but at the same time, you know, a lot of times there's stereotypes about the Latin American community. And I just wanted to bring that to light and use works by various Latin American authors such as Julia Alvarez and Junot Diaz and various others that, you know, just wanted to bring that dichotomy and the constant double standard that exists for women in Latin America. So. Thank you.
Our education students at the college, as many of my colleagues know, excuse me, are some of the most resilient students you will encounter. In the face of the larger field of power, with all the educational policies that get in the way of great teaching, they continue to be passionate, dedicated, persevere, and remain hopeful. I have a very important role in that I have dedicated my professional life to grooming America's next top teachers, and I would like to introduce you to one of them today, Miss Chelsea Olgiati. Chelsea excels at everything that she does. She takes pride in her work and does everything with integrity. This girl is the real deal. Chelsea, I want to be just like you when I get older. I look forward to following what I know will be a distinguished and rewarding teaching career, and one in which her students will always find her working in their best interest. She is quite simply my pride and joy. Okay. And it gives me great pleasure to honor her today for the beautiful mentor text that she wrote and illustrated in my writing course. Chelsea?
It's actually funny that Dr. Guerra mentioned that because she really inspires me. I actually want to be just like her when I'm a teacher. Thank you.
The Mutual Admiration Society.
First, I would like to thank all of the committee members for selecting me for this award. It truly is an honor, and I also, like I said, want to thank Dr. Guerra and all the members of the education faculty. They continue to inspire all of us. I want to mention briefly the motivations behind my children's book, which is entitled Fitting In While Standing Out. Being a junior and a childhood education major, I've observed in many classrooms. But every classroom that I've entered consisted of students with individual differences, as well as a group of students that were reluctant writers. When I began writing my children's book, I too experienced the same reluctance as some of the students that I observed. But I was inspired to write this children's book when I realized, with the help of Dr. Guerra, that the best ideas lie within us. But my idea was to create a story that helps students embrace their individual differences, all while teaching them new vocabulary words that they could use in their own writing. In the future, when I'm an educator, I hope I can share my story with my students, and I hope it will teach them to embrace the things that make them different. But more importantly, I hope I can inspire my students to love reading and writing by relaying the same message that Dr. Guerra told me, that the best ideas lie within us. Thank you.
This past year, I've been so fortunate to make friends with a lot of new colleagues who are doing such fabulous work. And I think I finally met my soul sister, Dr. Dimitra Pappas. Where are you?
So I'm Greek. I'm going to cry. I'm just letting you know up front.
Thank you, Dr. Gare. I have taken great pleasure in getting to know Dr. Gare and being nicknamed Marina's Little Monster over the past year. And my presence here today and the presence of my wonderful students, Velia Haskopoulos and Kelsey Papanikolaou, is it's okay, you go, girl. It's largely due to my interaction with Dr. Gare, and I'd like to say that and acknowledge her up front. And I'd also like to acknowledge all of the nominees and all of the mentors. Great job all around. This project should not have happened in so many ways. These students did a project on the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, a hurricane that should never have happened and should never have hit New York. And did hit New York just as I was designing the Sociology 1000 midterm essay process. It's a 2-week-long research exercise with a methodology clinic and a library clinic, and never in my wildest dreams had I anticipated that the methodology clinic would suddenly divert from discussing Lance Armstrong and doping to, yeah, poor Lance bounced from everything, even my midterm, to being about the hurricane and sending these splendid young men and women out to take images of their own and to create their own version of the personal and social and cultural consequences of the hurricane. Everyone here has seen the images. They were unavoidable. They're still unavoidable. The images that these young women created were from their backyards and of their friends former backyards. And one friend who unfortunately is not enrolled in St. Francis, so was not eligible, but is getting, I hear, a lovely certificate of acknowledgement. She allowed the young ladies to go into what was her home and take images of what was her life. And these pictures put the New York Times and the Daily News and New York One to shame in their profundity. I should also say that after these students got the grades that I'm not allowed to say because I'll be breaking the FERPA law, but you can figure what the grades would have been, I invited them to consider the opportunity to submit to Social Shutter, which is a visual sociology blog. They took up this opportunity at Christmas. Kelsey had 10 relatives living in her home. Velia had at least Leah, I don't know how many other people living in her home, and they worked on this project during Christmas and into the new year. They went from having individual papers for a midterm to having a team project that went to publication. They're just incredible. I'm going to cry now. I'm Greek. I mentioned that. So I'm going to sit down now before I truly embarrass myself, and I'm going to ask you to help me congratulate them.
So on mine and Kelsey's behalf, I would like to thank Professor Pappas for giving us this great opportunity. It's really a great honor. And in addition, we would like to thank St. Francis College and the Recognition Committee for their recognition and our award. Our publication was a visual analysis on Hurricane Sandy, just like Professor stated, and how it affected our lives in particular. On a personal note, I'm looking forward to graduation at the end of next semester in January, and I view this opportunity as a stepping stone into the business world. Thank you.
Mayra was my student in my honors seminar last semester, Plato and Neoplatonism. It's a demanding seminar. We start with Plato, focusing on texts which are the most relevant for the further study of Neoplatonism. And then we go into Plotinus, a 3rd century philosopher whose influence in the history of philosophy and literature and art is tremendous and can't be overemphasized. And Mayra was always a very thoughtful, profound, insightful, enthusiastic student. And she wrote a paper that relates to the infinite. The infinite is a fundamental theme in Plotinus's philosophy. The advantage of this theme is that it has no end. So I'm completely fascinated by it. And Mayra picked up on that. I'm very proud of her. So please congratulate with me, Mayra Violette.
Oh, hello. Well, my name is Myra. I'm a senior in a mathematics major. So winning this award has been a wonderful surprise and a wonderful way to end my year. So thank you, Dr. Berman, for nominating me, and thank you for the committee for giving me the award. I really enjoyed doing this essay. I've always been passionate about physics. It's something I do as a hobby, so doing this essay incorporating the notion of infinity with the Neoplatonic philosophy was wonderful. It was a wonderful way to put it all together. So now I like philosophy so much, and thank you, Dr. Berman, for inspiring me. I intend to pursue a graduate school in history of philosophy and science. So thank you very much again for the award.
Professor Yana Canedo submitted numerous submissions, theatrical performances, and lots of the type of work that she does in theater. And today she is honoring Rosa Levsky and Deanna Aquino. Can you please, ladies, join us?
Hi, good morning. So I'd like to begin by thanking our professor for nominating us and guiding us through the scene and giving us all the tools to make it our own and special. And it was a true honor and experience to be in her class. And I'd like to also thank the selection committee and my scene partner and now friend, Deanna.
I'd also like to thank Rosa for all her hard work and support throughout the semester. We really enjoyed doing the scene together. We've had a lot of fun throughout this semester. We've also enjoyed working with our classmates and under the direction of Professor Yana Canedo, and hopefully we could work together again in the future. Also, our show is this Sunday, May 5th at 1 p.m. in this theater. If you are free, you are more than welcome to come. Thank you again.
How many of you have seen the film Bridesmaids? Yeah, they Oscar-worthy performance. So we'll be sure to put the link up to their nominating scene when Mr. Welkin has an opportunity. All right, ladies, get your fans out. Professor Smolees is about to introduce some really stellar guys.
So I have to say, this has been a great experience. You all put so much work into it. I feel honored to have the ability to teach here and say that I teach at St. Francis. But this semester, I like to say I was given a gift. I'm a crier, too, can't help it. I had the opportunity to work with 3 great students who are in a different area of study from what I teach. I teach in the IT department, and they are communication majors. I've worked with them in my multimedia courses and web design courses. And this semester, the Department of Special Events had asked me if I would oversee students in creating a thank you video for St. Francis. And we have a new course in our department called Digital Video, which focuses on Adobe Premiere. And I approached one of our students, Andrew Flores, who brought to me Nick, who I've had in a class. And for the first time, I got to work with Rudy Velez, who is phenomenal as well. The project was not only just learn the software, but they had to create a thank you video to St. Francis. And they said to me, okay, professor, well, what do we have to do? So they had to approach their client, and I said, all you have to do is make me cry. And if I cry, you get your point out there, and you've succeeded. And anybody who's seen the video at the Charter Award dinner knows that they did it. They did it on their own. They were fabulous. They showed dedication. They motivated me and taught me so many things. Now I know what B-roll is, and I can cut film and all this great stuff that they showed me from their communication, film making end of it. So I'm going to introduce them, and this won't be the last time you see them, because guarantee it, they're going to be at the Tribeca Film Festival. Don't know when, but they'll be there. So I'd like to introduce Nick, Andrew, and Rudy couldn't be here today. So a round of applause for my team.
Thank you, Professor. We knew we were getting this award the whole time. No. But it was actually a real surprise because we're both seniors, you know, we're on our way out, and, you know, we both worked hard. We worked together in the past, and it was just a really interesting experience when she approached me, and I was just like, sure. You know, like I wasn't really sure what to expect, but it was, I gotta say, the way it was handled was on a very professional level, and I'm happy with the outcome of the project was, because it was at a top tier level. Like, you know, it looked like it could be a $50,000 budget film, and I'm really proud of that because, you know, we did it with what we had, you know, and what the school gave us. So it was really cool, and I just want to thank the school and the committee for giving us this award. And also just the fact that what's really good about St. Francis is if you really want to work, people aren't going to stop you. They're going to push you forward and really help you and guide you on which way to go. So, you know, as long as you have the drive, there's going to be someone there to show you where to drive. So it's really a good experience. And yeah, thank you. I don't know if Nick wants to say anything.
First off, I definitely want to thank Andrew for getting me on board with this project. I mean, any opportunity that I get to do anything with my passion, it's wonderful. And I really think that what I got from this, yes, you know, we had our final product and everything like that, and I'm very proud of it. But what I got more from this was the experience of working in a professional setting, working for a client, working with a deadline, working on the weekends, you know. And I really want to thank, you know, there was so many Saturday mornings getting up. I never thought I'd see a school on a Saturday morning, but yeah, it was a really great experience, and you know, I want to thank everyone who was involved, all the students that were involved who worked for free, you know, who came in on their Saturday mornings. I want to thank you know, everyone who was involved and everyone who saw the video. And it was a great experience. Thank you.
Quick note, Zara was in the video actually, so, you know, big ups to her for being in it and being a good model of what a student should be at St. Francis. And big ups to Rudy, who couldn't be here today, but you know, we used digital and film, and he was really our film guy. He was our film specialist on it, and he brought something to it that we couldn't have, you know, so he really brought his own piece to the whole thing. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I'd just like to say a few concluding remarks, and then I'll ask Dr. Houlihan to come down in a second if he doesn't mind. I want to thank the parents for coming here today. I think I speak for all of my colleagues when I say there's nothing more fulfilling and rewarding than being a professor at St. Francis College. These have been some of the most rewarding years of my professional life, and I hope to stay here for a long time and work with these lovely people. And you should be proud of the people that they are. And congratulations to all the award recipients today. And Dr. Houlihan, would you like to say a few concluding remarks?
Thank you all for coming. Congratulations to everyone who won. Thank you to the parents for sending you to us. I have had the great pleasure of teaching this year for the first time in many years. Marciano is one of my students. And what I say in class is my goal as a professor is to be able to disappear, to just let them do what they do best. And we just have to set things up right. And as a provost, that's also my goal with the faculty. So Marina won't let that happen. She keeps making me come out here and speak, but this is one of the great days for me because I'm just so proud of all of you, and that's everyone from the faculty to the students to my fellow administrators. Thank you again for coming.
And that's it. Enjoy some refreshments. Have a wonderful day.